Sadashivasamārambhām Shankaracharya-madhyamām Asmadacharya-paryantāम् Vande Guru-paramparaṁ. Om Bhadram Karneभिः Shrunuyama Devāः Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraः Sthirairangaih Sushruvagunsastanubhih Vyashema Devahitaiः Yadayuः Swasti न Indro Vruddhashravāः Swasti नः Purusha Vishwavedaः Swasti नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः Swasti no Brihaspatirdadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we were looking at the Dhyanam or Nididhyasanam we have to take, which is being done by, here we can take Ashvalayana, because Ashvalayana is the one who went to Brahmaji and asked for this Brahma Vidya. Or we can take it as any seeker that way. So how the person has to prepare for that also was given. All those details we saw, and then the actual what kind of dhyanam or nididhyasanam that person does. So the nididhyasanam itself is on certain words, correct? It's all, that is the Vedantic meditation. When we say the Vedantic meditation is not just about focusing on some sound or some object or all that. That is all okay. That is all only preparatory. Once we come to Vedanta, the idea is not just to do some upasana of any object. That Brahman itself is said as Nedam Edidam Upasake. Correct? It's not anything that you do upasana as an object. So that is not our goal anymore. The idea is that how do we get rid of all the wrong notions which we have? And for that we contemplate on certain words and the meaning of those words. Because those words themselves are actually going to remove wrong notions which you have about yourself. In that context only we were seeing all these words, correct? The Virajam, Vishuddham, because these are all the pointing out to the nature of the Atma itself. And Atma means, don't think it is some other thing, correct? It is yourself. Basically, what is your nature? Means it is Virajam, means it is free from all Ragadvesha. Then Vishuddham means it is always pure, in fact. It's not that something it was impure and now you are purifying it. It is always pure. It is not really having any durita like papa, punya, etc. are not even connected to this Atma. Then Vishadam, Vishokam. All these words are there, correct? Vishadam means it is clear. Always it is Nirmala. It's not associated with any taint. It is not tainted by anything. It is not touched by sorrow. There cannot be any sorrow in Atma. And it is Achintyam, Avyaktam, Ananta Rupam. So it is not an object of any thought. It is not, again, it is also Avyaktam means what? In it there is no, it is neither a Dravya, Guna, Kriya, Sambandha, nothing is there in that. None of that is there manifest as differentiated. Because as soon as you talk about a substance, quality, or Kriya or Sambandha, something has to be manifest there, correct? Differentiated. Only when things are differentiated, we can even talk about substance, quality, action, or relationship. All these things assume that there is at least more than one thing, correct? To have Sambandha, you need two things. To have a quality, you should have at least Dravya and Guna. Like that. And even Kriya assumes that there is some change in some substance and all that. So now in Abhyakta means this Atma, when we use the word Abhyakta for Atma, Atma is devoid of any of these things. That's why it is also Achintyam, because it is not an object. It cannot be objectified. And then it is Ananta also. It is, whichever way you look at it, it is limitless. It transcends all kind of limitations which you can think of. And it is also auspicious, Shivam. And it is Prashantam means again it is into which everything resolves. All the Vidya, Kama, Karma, everything has resolved into this. And it is Amritam. Again, it is beyond time. And it is Brahma Yonim. Brahma and Yonim you can take separately also. It is Brahma, it is Brihat, it is the greatest, biggest, limitless, and it is also the source of everything which you see here. It is the cause of everything. That is your Atma, in fact. And then it is also from Adi Madhyanta Vihinam. It doesn't have any beginning. Like any other object, it cannot have any beginning. All other things which we see here, we think it has a beginning because it is produced. Then it is there for some time. Then it is destroyed. Now none of these things are there for Atma. Okay. So it doesn't come into being in some period of time or anything like that because it is beyond space-time itself. That is the kind of understanding we have to have. But again, this understanding you have to apply to yourself. All of these things you have to apply to yourself. That is the most important thing that sometimes people miss that. The whole idea of Nididhyasana is not that you are meditating on some object. That is the great difference between just dhyana and Nididhyasana. Understand that Nididhyasana is always about yourself. Each and every word, how does it apply to you? You have to see that clearly. If there is some doubt, then you have to go back and do manana. Because Nididhyasana means already you have certain clarity. There is no problem in having clear knowledge, but still that knowledge has not transformed you. For that purpose alone, Nididhyasanam is done. That means in Nididhyasanam, every word which you have done Shravanam and about which you have clarity, you are only simply applying it to yourself and seeing it in the light of that word, you have to see yourself. That is the whole idea of Nididhyasanam. That's why I am saying even when you say Adi Madhyanta Vihina means I am not having any Adi. The greatest problem is I think I was born. I had a beginning. But really I does not have any beginning. I am the beginningless, changeless entity, conscious being who is there invariably in every cognition, who is there always. Again, I am not somebody who has come into existence and now I am continuing to sustain or anything like that. I am the one who sustains everything, in fact, if at all. And again, I cannot be destroyed similarly because I never had any beginning. There cannot be any end. All these things one has to see with reference to oneself. And Ekam, I am the only thing which really exists. There is nothing else, in fact. Ekameva Advitiyam also applies to me. Vibhum means again, I am the all-pervading reality. I give existence to each and everything in this world. None of the things can exist without me, correct? Everything exists because you cognize it. And you are the one who is cognizing. And cognition alone gives existence to each and everything. But you yourself, you exist because you are self-revealing and self-existent. You do not depend on anybody else's cognition to exist. But everything else, their very existence depends on your cognition only. Because without knowing, there is no existence. And therefore, they are all mithya. You are the Satya Vastu because you are the invariable in each and every cognition. This kind of a so the all-pervasiveness also you can understand like this. Vibhum. Again, Siddhananda Rupam, you are not Jada. Another great problem is you identify with the body, mind, sense complex, which are all Jada, really. But I am Chaitanya Swarupa, I am this conscious being alone. I cannot place my eye on any Jada Vastu, and I am Ananda Swarupa. Again, already Vishokam was said, but again here it is said Ananda also is repeated because you are the source of all Ananda. There is no Ananda other than you. You are the very Ananda itself, and this Ananda is not some experiential Ananda. But experiential Ananda also is only a fraction of this, like this the Upanishad says. So it's all your Ananda only. You are the Ananda Swarupam, you are the source of all Ananda. That is knowledge actually. That is Jnana. It's a matter of knowledge, not some experiential bliss or whatever it is. And what else is there? Anandam, Arupam. Again, I do not have any Nama or Rupa, Nama Rupa Vihinam. I am all names and forms. Arupam. And Adbhutam also is wonderful. Everything about this Atma is wonderful. That is the beauty here. So one has to appreciate all these things. In fact, there is a Pathabeda also they have given. Instead of Tam Adi Madhyantam, Tatha Adi Madhyantam also there is a Pathabeda, but it doesn't bring any big difference, okay, in the meaning. And Uma Sahayam, Parameshwaram, Prabhum, Trilochanam, Neelakantham. These are all, I said, can be taken as Saguna Brahma Upasana also, where we all understand Uma Sahayam means he is the consort of Uma, means Shiva we can take. Then Parameshwaram also, again Parameshwaram can refer to, normally we mean as Shiva only, but generally in Vedanta, Parameshwara means this Trimurti Swarupa only is Parameshwara. Parameshwara is the Jagat Karanam alone we say as Parameshwara. Then when we say Janmadhyasya Yataha, so from whom the Janma of the world has happened, the sustenance of the world happens, also into whom it resolves. If we look at those three functions and then we assign Trimurti to each function, then we have Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara like that. But Parameshwara is all three of them put together only. Jagat Karanam Brahma only we say Parameshwara. Okay? Because when we take each function, then the gunas also are associated with that. Correct? Rajo guna is for creation. Brahmaji is Rajo guna pradhana. Then for sustenance, Sattvam. Sattva guna pradhana is Vishnu. Then Tamo guna pradhana is Maheshwara for resolution. So like this, also we can look at it. But Parameshwara means all three put together only we have to understand. And this Parameshwara is also a Prabhu, means he is the Lord of everybody. Again, being the Lord means, see, even we can understand like a Jamindar or some politician who is ruling and all that. He is the ruler. Prabhu means you can say ruler. But the important thing we have to understand with reference to Parameshwara or Atma is that ruling itself can become a problem, correct? It becomes a burden. It can become tiresome also. Even overseeing people, whether everybody is doing their job correctly and all that, it's not an easy job. It can become a tiresome job. Then does Ishvara become tired? That's why you have to understand how we are presenting Ishvara. If you say Narayana is the ruler, how is Narayana presented in our culture? Narayana is lying down in Yoga Nidra, in fact. Narayana is not even opening his eyes. You go to Sri Rangam and all that, Narayana is just lying down. But everything is happening. That is the kind of, because Narayana is lying down on the Ananta also, correct? The snake. Pujya Swamiji used to joke that that was the first spring mattress and all that. Coiled spring mattress is Shesha there. But the idea there is Shesha represents, all serpents represent Shakti. Why? Because they represent unbridled power. Because they don't have any limbs also, correct? Normally we associate power with limbs. For us it is hands and feet and all that. But snake doesn't have any limb. But even without limb, it is so, it moves and it does everything without any limbs. Means that represents pure Shakti. And Shakti means the Ishvara only wields the Shakti, correct? So that's why the Shakti is there and Ishvara is just lying there. But everything happens in the presence of Ishvara. Sannidhi matrena is the important thing. Parameshwara otherwise will become tired, correct? Parameshwara also, if effort is required to rule over this world, means Parameshwara also one day will become tired and say, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. It's not like that. Understand that the Parameshwaratvam is that it's all only like the sun rises, everything happens. Sun is not going to become tired of that. Neither sun claims any kartrutvam also. That is also you can understand through that, correct? Because it just happens in Bhagavan's presence. All good, bad, ugly, everything is happening in Bhagavan's presence. If Bhagavan takes kartrutvam for that, Bhagavan will become guilty. Bhagavan also will become like anybody else. In fact, some traditions have all this jealous God and all that. I don't know how a God can be jealous. If God also is jealous, then that what kind of a God that God can be? It is silly. Some theologies are joke really. In fact, if you analyze that, it is all only, you cannot take it anything other than like a joke. Also, they assign gender and all that to Bhagavan, correct? So God in heaven alone, her father in heaven is God, okay, according to some theologies. Then Puji Swamiji used to ask, then what happened to the mother? That mother, he used to joke that mother passed away during the pregnancy of the world. World came, mother gone. Only father is sitting in heaven, poor fellow, he is a widower. He may be putting some ad in the matrimonial and all that. He used to say like that suddenly. It's a joke, correct? You assign a gender. Gender means again you are only it has to be some form and all that within space time. You make Bhagavan into some uh, limited thing only, correct? So that is the problem with all this assigning forms and all that. For upasana purpose, it is fine. Understand that, but that's not reality. The reality of Bhagavan is Bhagavan transcends all your notions. In fact, all your limited notions, Bhagavan transcends really. That includes everything else also, like gender. So, Bhagavan being Prabhu is just by the presence alone. That is the beauty here. Or Vibhu here. Vibhu also is there, Prabhu also is there. All of those things. Then Trilochanam. Again, Trilochanam, I talked about 3 eyes and all that, correct? Of course, the third eye represents Jnanam. That's why it burns down everything. The Purana story also is the same thing, correct? That I think the Kama Deva goes and tries to wake up Shiva. Because I think this Tarakasura story. So Tarakasura is there and nobody is able to defeat him. Neither Brahmaji, Vishnuji also, they are not able to do anything. So they wanted Shiva to wake up and have a progeny, and Shiva's son alone will be able to defeat him or something like that is that story. And Parvati also is doing penance to marry Shiva. But Shiva is also in Samadhi. He is not even waking up. He is in Yoga Nidra. So they sent Kamadeva to wake Shiva up. And Kamadeva sends his arrow. That is Kama, correct? But Shiva woke up and burnt down Kamadeva only, and then that ashes he again put on his body. That is his vibhuti. So what does it represent from a Vedantic? For a Vedantic student, it also represents that Shiva doesn't have any ignorance. Only if there is ignorance, there can be Kama, correct? Avidya, Kama, Karma is the progression. Always, if you even see Bhashyakara's writings, he will mention this like in a series, Avidya, Kama, Karma. So, with ignorance only, you can even have desire because due to ignorance only, you look upon yourself as a wanting person. Bhagavan cannot have any ignorance. And if he opens his Jnana Chakshuhu, Kama cannot be there anymore. Kama and all is gone. And then whatever is left is his Vibhuti only. Glory alone is there always. There is nothing. There cannot be any Kama or any Avidya. So you can understand that like that also, that Trilochanam. So having said this, and then Neela Kantham is there, correct? One whose Kantha is Neela. Again here that story is there. Samudra Mathana story is there. So the Devas and Asuras are doing Samudra Mathanam for the purpose of Amrita. But so many things are coming. Other than the Amrita, Lakshmi also came from there. Then we say Kamadhenu, Kalpa Vriksha. So many things are coming. Along with that, this poison also comes. Then nobody knew what to do. Everybody is running helter skelter. Then Shiva goes there and then takes all the poison and he drinks it. But Parvati is there nearby. She just stops it here so that it doesn't go down and affect whatever heart and other organs, and it has not gone up also and affected the head. It just stays in between, not affecting anything. But still that neck became Neela Kantha. So all these things you may think are all Saguna, but our commentator is very intelligent. Shankarananda, he has written the commentary, right? He says, we can take this as pointing to Nirguna Brahma also. And he has given different interpretation to all these words. Beautiful. So Uma Sahayam, I already told you, you can take it as Uma as Haimavati and all that, correct? And he is the consort of Uma. But if you take it for Nirgunam Brahma, Uma is Brahma Vidya, correct? So the one who is achieved through Brahma Vidya, you can take like that. So Uma Sahayam, Uma points to Brahma Vidya Sahayam, it will become. Parameshwaram, of course, who is the cause of everything, that applies to Brahman also. Then Prabhum means again that can apply to Nirgunam Brahma also, in the sense that Prakarshena Bhavati, one who is there everywhere also we can take like that. And Trilochanam also is taken as the three here. Lochanam means one who sees all the three states. Okay, he gives the meaning as Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, Sakshi. The Sakshi of all the three states, that is the Atma. So, like that, Trilochanam also is taken as the Sakshi of all the three states. And then Neela Kantham also, he takes Neela as, again, Avidya, ignorance. And the ignorance does not completely, it cannot cover completely Atma, but it is like the cloud which covers the sun, correct? From a particular standpoint, the cloud looks like sun is so big, really speaking. No cloud can ever cover the sun. But from a particular standpoint, the cloud looks like as though it is covering the sun. Like that, the Ekadesham, he says, Chidekadesham means Chaitanyam also, it looks as though it is covered by the ignorance. For the Jiva, at least from the standpoint of a particular body mind sense complex, the Chaitanya Swarupa is covered by ignorance. That is what is represented by Neelakantha here. Because the Neelakantha, the Kantha is a Ekadesha, like in the body, neck is one part. Like that in the Chaitanyam also, the Chaitanyam as though looks like it is covered by this Ajnanam, which is referred to as Neela here. So like this, the Shankarananda says, we can take everything as referent to only Nirguna Brahman and consider that this is only Nididhyasanam. You can take this as Nididhyasanam only. Then Prashantam again is there. So Prashantam was already said before also, correct? In the previous one, we have Prashantam is there. Okay, there we said that the one who is free from all avidya and all that. Of course, Prashantam, if you take it as Sagunam, means somebody who has a pleasing and peaceful Vadanam and all, you can say, correct? Bhagavan is always visualized as somebody who is cheerful. Bhagavan also, we don't want to have in a sad pose and all that. So, Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayet also, we say always, right? Even when we start Ganapati also, what do we say? So, we say Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayet, Sarva Vighna Upashantaye and all that. So, Bhagavan we always visualize as Prasannaha, Prashantaha in this manner only. So, we can take like that. Prasannam means one who is having a pleasing countenance and all that. But otherwise, we can also take it in for Nirgunam when we say, we have to say into which everything resolves and all that. I said already one meaning was given for that. Okay, that everything resolves into this Ishvara. Here also we have to say that, or we can say this Prashantam can be taken also as Ananda Swarupa, one who is Tripta, always satisfied with oneself. That's why he is like that. That is the Atma Swarupa is like that. It is Nitya Tripta Swarupa. So there is Ananda Swarupa. We can take like that. So with all these words again, the Muni is contemplating about oneself. So Dhyatva Munihi. Munihi means Manana Shilaha. It is taken as means one who is given to contemplation. One who has a contemplative nature is called Muni. And this Muni is doing Dhyanam means here. Again, Dhyanam when we use Sajatiya Pratyaya Pravaha or Vijatiya Pratyaya Rahita, Sajatiya Pratyaya Pravaha only is Dhyana. Of course, if that is on Saguna Brahma Vishaya, then it is Dhyanam only. It is Upasana. But here, if it is a contemplation on your own Swarupa, then we call it as Nididhyasanam, because Nididhyasanam is not, again, another difference we have to understand between Dhyana and Nididhyasana is, many times the Upasana are all done only for Punyam also. Okay? Because it is a Manasa Kriya, if you are doing with Kartrutvam, then it will have some Punya. Punya, because karma, Vaidika karma also, they both have Kaikam karma, like all the yajna which you do, homa and offering into the fire, that you have to do physically. But then in many rituals, they also have to do some japa and upasana. Both japa and upasana together will give you more phala. That is the idea. And that's how you reach higher lokas and all that. So the dhyana and upasana can be purely done for the adrishta phala, which is punya. There is no doubt about that. But when a karma yogi does upasana, he is not interested in the punya phala. It is only for chitta naistalyam and whatever, chitta shuddhi and chitta naistalyam only. You are doing, the karma yogi is doing it for chitta naistalyam. But karmata also can do upasana, correct? Purely for the upasana phala. But nididhyasanam is not for any punyam or anything. Understand that. Nididhyasanam also is a manasa kriya. It is also a manasam karma, but it is anga of the jnanam itself. Or shravanam. Shravanam is the main thing we say. By listening to the shastra alone, you get jnanam. But if shravanam does not work, what do I do? Why? When does shravanam does not work? When there are vagueness and doubts. Means then you have to do mananam. So mananam becomes an angi, so that once you do mananam, again if you go and sit in the class, shravanam works. But even then, Shravanam does not work, because after the class, you again go back to habitual tendencies. If that problem is there, again one more anga comes. What is that? That is the Nididhyasana. So you have to keep doing whatever Shravanam you have done, based on that only Nididhyasanam can be done. Understand, Nididhyasanam is not some independent dhyana or getting into some yoga samadhi and all that. It is not even Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Bhashyakara clearly negates Chitta Vritti Nirodha in 147 Bhashyam of the Brihadaranyaka. If you see, he doesn't accept yoga as a moksha shastra itself. But yoga sadhana is accepted by all Advaita Acharyas. Understand that. We don't have any problem with Ashtanga yoga or even doing all those, whatever is said in the Ashtanga yoga, all this pratyahara, dhyana, dharana, samadhi also. It's not against anything, but that samadhi itself is not considered to be moksha, because for moksha jnana is required. Just chitta vritti nirodha, stopping your mind, will not produce any jnanam. It can give you some kind of an experience and all that, but once you come out of that, you are the same. If you are an ajnani and then you achieved samadhi, even if you come back, you are the same individual. Understand that. But if you are a jnani and get into the same samadhi, then it is different. Because already you are a jnani, that same samadhi can help you to come out of your habitual tendencies. That's how the acharyas, our Advaita acharyas, look at it. So our Pujya Swamiji used to say, even Nirvikalpa Samadhi is not a goal in Advaita. Understand? It is more like Savikalpa. In fact, Nirvikalpa Samadhi cannot be achieved willfully. It is like sleeping. Sleep also you cannot do willfully, correct? You can only prepare the bed. You can go and lie down. Then sleep happens, correct? Sleep is not something you achieve willfully. It has to happen by itself. You can prepare for it. Similarly, Nirvikalpa Samadhi also will happen only. You have to do all the things, all the yoga. In fact, in Ashtanga Yoga, Nirvikalpa Samadhi is the Angi. The Ashta Angas will have to lead you to the Angi, which is the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. But even that, only if you already have Advaita Jnana, it is useful. That is our understanding. And even that may not be our final goal also. As long as you have a mind which can one-pointedly focus on this jnanam and then that produces knowledge, that is good enough for us. Okay, Nirvikalpa Samadhi is like a bonus. If it happens, let it happen. We are neither against it nor we are craving for it or anything. That should be our understanding. So in this case, like I said, Nididhyasanam is again an Angi. And again, if you do, the more nididhyasanam you do, and again you go back and sit in the class, Shravanam is going to work for you. And in fact, Sureshwaracharya says later on that repeated Shravanam itself is nididhyasana. Because after some time you are so much into Vedanta, whether you are in class or you are not in class, only these things are all going on in your mind, correct? It has to be like that. It will become like that. That's why you are a mumukshu, correct? If you are really a mumukshu and a jnanasu, nothing else is going to interest you anymore. And it will automatically, your mind also is only dwelling on these things, whatever you may be doing on a day-to-day basis, that's a different thing. But your mind has to dwell on this only. It will happen like that. In fact, it's not, none of these things are any great effort or anything. That's what I am saying. This whole pursuit also should be joyful. If the pursuit of jnanam is not joyful, something is terribly wrong. Then you have to rejig your attitude, or you have to prepare yourself better. Understand that. A Vedanta student cannot come to the class, I have to come to this class, means then you have to prepare, you go and do something else then. And then you will still get some vairagya, correct? You still think something is there in the world, okay, go and do whatever you want to do. Just see the limitations of that, get the vairagya and come back. That is okay. In fact, everything is okay for us because you have infinite janmas. So you don't have a problem. If you don't get it now, you will anyway get it in another janma like that. So Guru also is not bothered by all that. Understand that. No Guru will be bothered about all these things. Whatever it requires for you to get qualification, you go through those experiences. That is fine. But once you are a student of Vedanta, means Vedanta will consume, or it has to consume your entire mind. It will happen like that. In fact, that's what I'm telling you. It cannot be any other way. Then only it works. It will work that way. So the nididhyasanam becomes automatic. In fact, that contemplation is not going to go away just like that, regardless of whatever you are doing. And then that contemplation will lead you to some overcoming your habitual tendencies also. So that the self-transformation means, as I told you, now if I ask any of you, you are all very clear, aham manushyaha, correct? That identity is so strong. And to uproot that identity is not going to happen overnight. Understand that. It is not some bulb which is glowing just when you put the switch on. It's never like that. It is a process always. And it takes time, but don't ask me when will it happen and all that. Whenever it happens, you will know. That's all we can say. Is that clear? You only will know that. Nobody can come and say whether you are a jnani or not and all that. Understand that. That's why you cannot go and ask anybody else also. Even if the other person says, I am a jnani, then you will still have doubt. Then why did you even ask? It is a useless question. Understand that. Your jnana only you will know. And also, like some people have weird expectations that if I am jnani, then others have to respect me. All that. That's all not going to happen. Understand that. Even Ramana Maharishi, most people were criticizing him. They did not like him. Somebody even wrote a book and all that. Because whoever goes there, no, Ramana used to say that question for whom this grief is happening. Things like that. He will always try to reorient you to the Atma only. Whatever may be, he is not giving you any platitudes. Ramana was like that. Then many people didn't like it. They said, I went through so much grief, and he is saying you inquire for whom this grief is happening means. That person doesn't even have the space to do that inquiry, correct? Unless you are able to objectify whatever is happening to you, you cannot do any inquiry. He was like that because he didn't see any other permanent solution, correct? He tried to orient people in a different manner. What I am saying is, nothing needs to change. If you are a jnani, you are a jnani. It does not depend on whether others respect you, others' behavior changes towards you. Nothing needs to change. It is not no miracle needs to happen in the world. The only miracle is that you are a jnani. That itself is the greatest miracle. And your identity has changed. That is good enough. There's no need for anything else. And you will know that definitely. So till that time, this kind of a contemplation has to be done. There is no other way. In fact, in the Upanishad itself, we say that there is no other way other than jnanam. So Munihi Gachati, he goes where Bhuta Yonim, means what he attains to the source of all the beings, the entire creation means, and also he is the Samasta Sakshim. He becomes the witness of everything, not just, see, normally we think we are only the witness of whatever is happening in this body, mind, sense complex, but for the Muni, once you identify with this Atma which is limitless, that Atma alone is the Sakshi of each and every body, mind, sense complex also. Bhagavan says that Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. The Kshetrajna, there is only one Kshetrajna. There can be n number of Kshetra. Kshetra means here the body, mind, sense complex only Bhagavan is saying as Kshetra. It is a field. Kshetra means field really. But the field includes your own body, mind, sense complex, everybody else's body, mind, sense complex. And whoever says I, that I is only one I, understand that. That I is not separate from your I. So therefore, you are the Sakshi of all the beings also. There is no doubt about that. And with this understanding what? So by becoming the cause of everything and by becoming the witness of everything means you are that Nirgunam Brahma who has all these words which actually lead you to understanding this Nirgunam Brahma as yourself, means you have crossed all ajnanam, tamas of parastat. So you go beyond tamas, you transcend ignorance itself, and that is what is given here. So how this jnani attains this jnanam, beautifully it is given. And then what is the phala? Sarvatma bhava is the phala, correct? And the phalam of this jnanam is aham brahmasmi iti. Even the aham brahmasmi in the Brihadaranyaka, it is said that having known that you become the atma of everybody, you become everything. Means that is given here in so many words. Sab Brahma, sa Shivaha, Sendraha, Saha Aksharaha, Paramaswarat, Sab Brahma sa Shiva, Sab Brahma sa Shiva, Sendra Sokshara Paramaswarat. Like that we chant also this thing in the temple and all that. Correct? And Saeva Vishnuhu, Sapranaha, Sakalaha, Agnihi, Sacha Chandramaha. Like this person now, Jnani, is not separate from Brahman. And Brahman alone is this Brahma, Brahmaji. This is Brahma, the creator. Also Shiva. And also this Brahman or I am Aksharaha means Naksharati iti Aksharaha. I am imperishable. I don't change. I don't have any parts. Only that which has parts can change. Anything which is put together will disintegrate, will fall. Even if you don't use it, correct? You have a car, let us say. You don't touch it for 5 years. What will happen? It's not going to function, okay? It is gone. So whether you use or not, anything put together will fall apart. So like that, but Atma is the only thing which can never fall apart. It is unchanging, partless whole. Okay, so Aksharaha, Paramaha. So it is the Utkrishtaha. Paramaha means it is the greatest. It's nothing greater than that. Swarat, Swayam Rajate iti Swarat. It shines by itself. Suprakashaha, self-revealing Swarat. It is shining in its own glory also, you can say. Swarat means. That is, and it's independent. It does not depend on anything else. That's all Swarajyam, we say, correct? Apnoti Swarajyam, Apnoti Manasaspatim, like that. Even Upasana Phalam is given like that, but that is relative. But here when we say Swarat, it's the absolute. Okay. Sayeva Vishnu, Sapranaha. Okay, so all the Trimurtis are this Jnani only. The Jnani who identifies with Brahman, all the Trimurtis are this Jnani only, Sapranaha also. Prana here is the Sutratma. We have to take the one, the totality of all the Sukshma Sharira is called Sutratma or Hiranyagarbha. That is the Prana. And Sakalaha, you are also the time. Time is not separate from you. In fact, time is you. Because now or present, I already told you, you cannot define that. In fact, if you analyze what is now or present, in fact, will end in your presence. Correct? There is no present without existence, which is presence, which is your own presence. In fact, it has to end up there only. The present will end in presence. Therefore, you are the Kala, you are Agnihi also, and you are Chandramaha also. Okay, or here you can take Kalagni as one word also. The commentator here says Kala Rupi Vaishvanaraha. Also, you can take Kalagni, you can take as a Samasa and take it as the Vaishvanara Agni who is in the form of Kala. Bhagavan also says Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritaha, like that. That's why we chant that 15th chapter. Why do we chant 15th chapter during eating? You may ask a question. Because there Bhagavan says, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritaha. I am the one who is sitting in your stomach as the Vaishvanara Agni. Don't think you can digest the food you eat. People have pride in eating also, correct? Some people will say, I can drink so much, I can eat so much and all that. Okay? Even that power to digest is not really your power, correct? One day if your stomach has some problem, then you will know. So Bhagavan says, I am the one who is sitting there and doing even the digestion function is done by Bhagavan as Vaishvanara Agni. That's why even all eating also we take it as a yajna. The food you are offering is actually you are offering to the Bhagavan who is sitting there in your stomach as Vaishvanaraha. That's why we call it Pranagni Hotram also. Because you are offering the food to the prana in your body. And that prana is nothing but Bhagavan, only sitting there. If you have such an attitude, then your eating also will get moderated, I think. So you cannot put everything into Agni Hotra, correct? Or a yajna. Once it becomes a yajna, it becomes divine. Then you cannot eat all kinds of junk food. Understand that? So that attitude is very useful. You should have that. That's why we chant that 15th chapter, because Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritaha Pranapana Samayuktaha Pachami Annam. He says explicitly, I am the one who is cooking, or means what? Basically, I am the one who digests all the food which you are eating. That also is only Bhagavan. Without Bhagavan, you can't digest even the food. Anyway, so here Kalagnihi means you can take it as Kala Rupi Vaishvanaraha also is one interpretation, or Kalaha separately. Bhagavan is Agni, Bhagavan is Chandrama. That way also we can take, because Agni means it is a certain kind of illumination, correct? Agni gives both heat and light, Swamiji used to say. And that's why Agni is the Adhisthana Devata of Vak. And Swamiji used to say, why Agni is the Adhisthana Devata of Vak? Because Vak also can produce light or heat, we will say. Because if your Vak is illuminating, if your speech is illuminating, then it produces light. Or you can speak in such a way that you can make everybody agitated and become angry and all that. Then it produces only heat. So he used to say your speech also should only produce light and not heat. Like that he used to say. But Agni has both the qualities. It can produce both light and heat. But Chandrama produces only nice light. Correct? There is no heat in Chandrama. It is pleasant light also. You can look at it for any number of minutes. Agni is not like that. You can't keep on looking at the Agni. So that way Bhagavan is both. Or whatever, I am both Agni and Chandrama. Like this. That is the Sarvatma Bhava of the Jnani is said here. Further, same thing continues. Sayeva Sarvam Yad Bhutam Yadcha Bhavyam Sanatanam Nyatva Tam Mrityu Madhyeti Nanyah Pantha Vimuchyate Vimuktaye. So again, specifically time is taken. What is the Swarupa of time? And with reference to time also, you are Sayeva Sarvam. He indeed is all that was there in the past. Sarvam Yat Bhutam, whatever has gone by, all that is only you. Whatever is there right now, okay, that is also you only. And whatever is going to come, all that is also you only, because only present alone is really there. Past also was present, future also will be present. So when we look at all these things, only the present is there really. And in the present only, everything is there potentially. Okay. So this again, this present itself again resolves into this Atma alone. So Atma alone is the basis for the time. So you are not in time. That is the whole idea again. What is the idea of saying that you are all the past? You are in the present also is you, future also will be you, means all the things which are there in time and along with time, everything is there in you. You are not an object in time. That is what you have to always recognize. Of course, you can always take the help of dream world for this. The dream time and everything which was there in dream time was nothing but yourself only. Correct? So this waking also is no different. Waking also it is the same thing. You may think that there is some continuity and all in waking compared to dream, but that does not fundamentally make any difference. Gaudapadacharya, there is a Vaitatya Prakaranam in the Mandukya Karika. He is very clear that there is no big difference between dream and waking. From the standpoint of reality, both are similar. In fact, whatever is seen as an object of your knowledge, everything is mithya. Vishyatvad mithya. Anything you see is mithya because it's all only like it only lasts through that cognition. Then it can be replaced by another cognition. It comes and goes. None of that can be taken as satyam. So here you are whatever yat bhutam, yatcha bhavyam, sanatanam. Means sanatanam here is again can be translated as eternal, but better is timelessness. You are the timeless reality. You are not even subjected to time. That's what we have to understand. That is your very nature. And having known like this, correct? Nyatva tam. Tam here is actually whatever the Ananda Atma, the Brahma, having known oneself in this manner, Nyatva tam Atmanam, Mrityumatyeti means what you transcend death. You transcend mortality itself, because mortality is nothing but limitation with reference to time. Once you know that you are not an object in time and you are the very basis for time, then where is the question of any mortality? So that's not at all possible. You have transcended the very idea of time. Mrityumatyeti, you are no more a mortal. And again, how do I transcend all these things? Is there any, what are the different ways? So people are always, nowadays, they want different ways for everything. Correct? But Upanishad says, Nanya Panthaha Vimuktaye. There is no other way. Knowledge alone. Because if the problem is one of ignorance, then the only solution can be knowledge, correct? There cannot be any other solution. Any activity other than knowing is not going to solve your problem. Because the problem is one of ignorance. Whether you do Shirasasanam or any other asanam or do some elaborate upasana or some yajna or karma, whatever you do, none of that will address your ignorance. Understand that. No karma phala is going to get rid of your ignorance. Only jnanam alone can get rid of the ignorance. That's why dhyanam also is not a solution by itself. Just because you meditate on something and you have had some experience and all that, it's not going to solve your or make you any different fundamentally. Instead of pursuing in this world, you are now pursuing some experience within yourself, you can say, or whatever experiences are happening mentally for you, you are hooked on to that. It's nothing more than that. Many people spend their entire life in that, but they have not changed anything fundamentally. I have seen people, even during my course, I am saying, many people visit the Gurukulam. And one person came and told, I am doing meditation for 30 years, transcendental meditation and all that. And I was talking to him, but I found that nothing has entered his mind really. No jnanam, only some meditation. Of course, you have a certain mental disposition and all that, or maybe he had some experiences and all that. He was sharing that. So I even asked him, so okay, then how did it change you really? You still seem to be the same person who is suffering, right? What is the big deal? So maybe it triggered something in him, maybe not, I don't know, because I didn't meet that person again. What I'm saying is, just doing some meditation and all also is not, because many people present that itself has some solution, correct? Of course, if you are undergoing some psychological problem and all that, and some practices help you, you have to take it. But don't think that that's going to give you moksha or anything. That is something like you take some medicine, even if your body has some ailment, you take some medicine. Like that, those things are useful for whatever particular situation. But moksha means you have to only come to Vedanta, you have to study. Many people have some hatred for studying itself, I think. Because like that, the modern Swamiji used to criticize this modern Vedanta a lot, that's why. Because the idea is that somehow they are presented that the book, why should you study the book? If you have to know yourself, turn inward, close your eyes, sit in some place and all that. This kind of a thing only is promoted by everybody. Or some technique is given. No technique will make you jnani, understand that. Technique and all can help you in, with reference to your mind again. The disposition of your mind, it can give you some help there. But that itself is not the end. Even after having all the technique and a proper mind also, you are still the same mortal individual. That has to be addressed. Unless you address that fundamental problem, you are still the same. Whatever may be your mental accomplishment also. Understand that? Whatever may be your intellectual accomplishment, mentally also, let us say you are able to meditate for 6 hours in a day. It's not fundamentally changing you. But I have done all that. That's why I am telling you. When I was in US, every weekend we'll go. We'll sit from morning 10 o'clock to evening 6 in one place, not even move. Okay. And do meditation and all that. This is okay. It's an accomplishment in itself to sit in one place. That's all. Okay. You can feel good about it also. But it doesn't really change me in any way. Understand that. So this Nanya Pantha Vidyate means it is not some fanaticism or anything. It's just accepting the fact. Because if ignorance is your problem, knowledge alone can be the solution. There cannot be any other solution. Once you say knowledge is the solution, then what is the means of knowledge you have to ask, right? There is no knowledge without operating a means of knowledge. In this case, Pratyaksha and Anumana cannot be the means of knowledge. Understand that. Pratyaksha and Anumana are not going to help you because they are only revealing to you the objective world. And in fact, they make you a subject in space-time and further only propagate the same ignorance. Only the Veda has to come and reveal to you your true nature. Veda alone is the pramana here. And Veda pramana has to operate. And only through that you gain this knowledge whereby you free yourself from all limitations, all wrong notions. Once it is done, you are as you are only. Atma, you are not creating any new Atma like a Mukta Atma, which was really bound. Atma is always as it is only. It's always an accomplishing the accomplished. Okay. So you are only attaining whatever was already attained, only you are attaining again through jnanam. Therefore, this is the only way, Nanyaf Panthaha Vimuktaye, for this freedom from all bondage, all limitations. There are no other paths, no other way. You cannot, other than this Brahmajnanam, you cannot do anything else. Okay. The other things we'll see in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Namaha. Hari Om.